Hello again. I'm going to read this epistle to you. My gaze will be lowered because I don't have a teleprompter like that other guy does. Jesus Christ, did you think this was my idea? I suppose you may be wondering what kind of fool I am, and why on earth do I proclaim that I'm virtually Jesus Christ? The answer is quite simple once you think it through. But first I must tell you what will happen to me rather soon. I'm just a finite being, born to die, my friends. I'm not here to save your butt, but I'll tell you what the truth is before my time is done. Epistemology is the philosophy of knowledge, where they try to answer a trinity of questions. What do you know, how do you know it, and why should you bother at all? Some of you believe it all comes from God, while others think the reason is man. But I'm here to tell you the truth, that in reality it's a partnership between the two. One is the entity that created it all, while man simply tries to figure it all out. God is the deity that goes by many names, that nothing can compare to. It's the divine reality that created the seen, and unseen also, and transcends both time and space. I know my reason for being here, and thank Allah for giving me life. The one true God for all mankind, regardless what you think or believe. Now there's this man Stephen, hawking nothing as his God. It's in his head, and that's no lie, as he tries to tell you what the truth is. In reality, he claims this nothing created everything, and was all alone before it all began. But I ask you, doesn't that sound like God, if you take the time to think it through? In my mind, God is reason, and the truth can hurt sometimes. Some of you claim God was a man, while others say God is love. I'd love to give you a piece of my mind, but I need all that I've got. I've tested as a mastermind, and I'd like to keep it that way. So I'll just provide you some food for thought while I kill a little time. There was a time in my life when I was an elf, but then I got laid off. But I'm a lucky man who knows I've been blessed by God with a loving wife who had a job at the time, just as she does at this very moment. I had 4 Beamers at that moment in time, a car, 2 motorcycles, and a dog. While at this moment, I've got 1 boxer, and the lady who was a tramp. I hope you know we didn't have much change, but we had enough that we could survive. Then it happened from nowhere at all, and it caught me by surprise. For several days, maybe even a week, I had such a rush I could hardly think. I didn't see anything that wasn't already there, nor did I hear someone talking to me. But what it was has been described before by a trinity of other beings. Buddha was a man who ran from his responsibility. He was born as Sid with a silver spoon in his mouth, but it was said he'd be someone else. He left the wife and family, and all his worldly belongings, to find himself and learn the truth, so he journeyed to gain some knowledge. Eventually he sat right down under the Bodhi tree. What he saw was in his head, but it's been described as something else. When he was done, he talked a bit, but we don't really know in reality what he said. There was no one there to write it down, and nobody did it for many years. He described the goal for you and me, a something known as nirvana. Not the band, I hope you know, and now I'm going to change the subject. The next man in the Trinity is known as Jesus Christ. The man was a Jew who spoke Aramaic, but Christ is a Greek word, you fools. What it means is the chosen one, but exactly who was doing the choosing? Many have chosen to believe he was God, while others are simply born into it. By the way, I was circumcised, baptized twice, and ordained a priest in these latter days. Anyway, back to Jesus 1.0, the man known as Christ. There was a time when he roamed the desert, and it's been said he was challenged by Satan. He won the battle, but now he's gone, regardless what you believe. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews have pushed the envelope with the God of Abraham, and what they've done is to label me as Mr. Jesus 2.3. But who exactly did the choosing? Did they make a mistake when they did it back then in the hope for a little change? That's for me to know and you to decide after I finish this epistle. Now it's time to speak of the final man in this trinity. He's the one who did it all, the final prophet known as Muhammad. Peace be upon that man and all those who know the truth. You can't blame them, or even me, for all that's wrong in the world. In reality, it just may be that you've imagined a world that's never been, as you try to make a heaven on earth. While others try to imagine a world at peace and think utopia is just around the corner. I'm not the new Messiah, my friends, and I'm not offering hope or change. But if you desire a new paradigm, I may be the man who can deliver it to you, and it won't cost you a dime. But back to Brother Muhammad. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's said he spent some time within a cave, but God never spoke to him. Of that you can be sure of. The surahs of the Noble Quran were delivered by the angel Gabriel. And that's the truth that many deny, while billions trust the man at his word. They know that Islam is a way of life, known as the religion of peace, if you submit to the will of God. I was nurtured in the womb of Gabriel and delivered to tell the truth. But when I told my mom what happened, she simply didn't understand the words that I chose. In reality, I didn't know why it happened either. But trust me when I say it did. It took many years for me to gain all the knowledge, and then I began to recognize the signs. For most of those years, I was an agnostic man, pursuing my happiness. I took all the liberties that I was allowed. I've even broken a few of the rules. Once I connected all the dots, I came to the only logical conclusion. I'm the guy who has been chosen this time to tell mankind what the truth is. In reality, many already know it, and there is no secret to it at all. If you want to be free, you don't have to believe in me, but you've got to take responsibility for all you think and do. One takes place within the mind, and your actions take place in time. The light you see is in front of you, staring you in the eyes. But what you perceive happens between your ears, using the knowledge you've gained over the years. Some of you believe Jesus will return, and you'll be saved forevermore, while still others know a different story, but he'll return just the same. Well, I'm the guy you've been waiting for. But in reality, I'm just a man, and this is the only life I have. I'm not a reincarnated being, and I've never been a god. But I do know the truth, and that's no lie, regardless what you believe. I didn't ask to be chosen, I'm just trying to live my life. But a man's got to do what he's been put here for before that final moment. I'm not here to chase any prophets, nor do I hope for lots of change. But I can make sense of the prophets of God and all the other truth tellers also. If you want to discover what it is that I mean, all you've got to do is click on the link. God willing, you'll understand that I'm a reluctant man, but somebody's got to do it. Call it just my dumb luck or a blessing from God, but I've got this big shot cousin. She works at a network known by many and is a friend of education also. I won't tell you her name, but you can look it up once I've given you mine. It's true that I'm known as Mr. Jesus 2.3, who is virtually Jesus Christ. But when I was born, I was given a name by my French mother and American father. Daniel Harold McFarling is what it is, and the words have some interesting meanings also. Daniel means that God is my judge, and he was some guy who interpreted dreams. While it's true I'm living the American dream, in reality I'm not actually rich. I've stood before a judge once or twice, and the last time was because of a Jew. He told the man I freaked him out. He was never so scared in his life, when all I did was write the man a few epistles that evidently pissed him off. When I talked to the guy, I told him hello and reminded him of the truth. But he thought that I was threatening him. Thank God I survived the trial. Which leads me to the meaning of herald, and it can be spelled a couple of ways. If you spell it with an E, it means one who proclaims. I'm here to proclaim the truth to you and interpret this reality we share. You can judge me all you care to, but it won't faze me for a moment. I've got my peace of mind, and I'm a mastermind who in reality has mastered his mind. I don't let my emotions get the better of me as I tell you what the truth is. Harold with an A led a great army. But do you think I'm that kind of man? It's true I went to West Point, my friends, but I was an enlisted guy before then. I've never been a general, but I've met one or two, and my daughter's an officer in Afghanistan serving the country that I did also. While I'm a libertarian and a Muslim too. You may just think that it can't be true. You may believe the two are polar opposites, but you'd be wrong. And I'll tell you why, if you've got the time to listen. Libertarians know if you want to be free, you can't force others to do what you want. And the reason is quite simple, if you reflect a little bit. The golden rule is what I'm talking about, and it's found in every religion. They may use different words to explain it, but it all means the same thing. It has nothing to do with helping others until you need some help for yourself. And I don't want to be forced doing what you want. I can't force you in any way either. But if you try to lie, cheat, or steal, it's time for you to go away. Or maybe lose something dear to you. It could be some time or maybe your life. It all depends on what you've done. That is what a libertarian believes, and in reality it's Islam too. You may be thinking that it's a lie, but it may be you who've been lied to. By those who want to manipulate the masses so they can get what they desire from you, while you hope for a little change. The common denominator in all of this is what to do to find your peace of mind. And those who submit to the will of God know how to go with the flow also. They know that all is going according to the plan as we've been progressing through time and space. It's the same damn thing Stephen is hawking after his nothing created everything. It makes no difference if you think we've evolved or believe it happened all at once. We're all in this together, my friends, like it or not. C'est la vie or joie de vivre, the choice is yours to make. But if you want your peace of mind, you can't imagine a world at peace. Unless you put your money where your mouth is and do what it takes to be free. In reality, I don't hope for much change, but neither did Buddha either. He was born with a lot, and that's no lie, but he was just a monk when he died. And Jesus 1.0 didn't have much when he left this world, regardless how you think the guy disappeared. Now it's true that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the leader of men who had many wives. And if you know much about the man, you'll understand he was very humble. But he was a revolutionary just the same. He did it all and told the truth, but then he had to die. That's the way it goes for every man, woman, and child, since the beginning of time. I hope you know that's the universal truth, and now it's time for me to go. Peace be with those of you who are searching the truth, and may the rest of you and your loved ones too live long and prosper also. With an everlasting love, now and forever always. Virtually yours, Jesus Christ.